gardens, in addition to their collection of modern water lilies, they also have priceless samples of the Egyptian blue lotus itself, dating back to the pharaohs. They agreed that Vic and Dave could take a sample. In the grounds, they passed one of the oldest ginkgo biloba trees in Britain. Botanically, this seems a very long way from a water lily. Did the blue lotus of ancient Egypt really have the same properties?
You see why it's called biloba?
Yeah, the two lobes in the leaves.
You see it's very leathery.
Yeah. Very old plant supposed to be, isn't it? But a throwback.
Well, you actually see things like this in carboniferous fossils.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you smell anything like that?
Yeah, it smells nice.
In Kew's underground archive are thousands of dried specimens collected from all over the world. Egyptian specialist Nigel Hepper led them to flowers and wreaths which had come from Egyptian tombs.
One with the blue water lily.
There's not much doubt about that, is there?
No, it's been taken off the one underneath and
The
reimagined.
petals are absolutely insane.
And that's from the coffin of Ramses II.
Right.
Now, it's the other one here, another drawer. This is the one that we probably can use. This is from Hawara. It's excavated by the...
When this wreath was first assembled, it would have been a colourful arrangement of blue, yellow, white and green. Now it needed the eye of an experienced botanist to identify the blue lotus amongst the dried petals.
We can't use any that's actually still fixed in the wreath, but there are some here. Yes, look, there's a nice bit.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
I'll put it on there.
We don't want to take any more than necessary, really. So.
Right.
Just trim a small amount
There's a
off.
pair of faucets.
It's great.
Thank you, son.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Back in the lab, they could now check if the flower of the pharaohs really had the same chemical fingerprint as the modern plant they tested.
Is it good enough there for the experiment?
I can get good results out of 1 milligram of that sample.
If you can get any results, that would be very useful.
And when they compared the ancient petal from Kew with the modern petal from Stately, even they were surprised at the match.
This is the trace from the Stately petal, the modern petal. This is the trace from the Kew petal, the old petal, 2,000 years old. And what we're looking at here is the profile of the phytosterols. And look how similar the profiles are. 2,000 years difference, and yet the profiles of these phytosterols, these biologically important materials, are practically identical.
There could be little doubt that the lotus known to the ancient Egyptians would have had the same properties as the modern plant. But did the ancient Egyptians consume it? Was it really their Viagra? They began the hunt for the telltale lotus fingerprint in tissue obtained from Ashru. To date, they've found nothing certain, but some unidentified peaks could be byproducts of the lotus. And the discovery that the lotus has Viagra-like properties has already given a new significance to the many images of the flowers seen in Egyptian tombs. The images of the lotus now fitted perfectly as part of a complex sexual code which Lisa Manakay has been deciphering. A code which highlights the importance of sex as the key to rebirth in the afterlife.
To be reborn was something that the ancient Egyptians were really obsessed with. And that means that sexuality has a very large part to play in this. For instance, the persons are all in their best age, their reproductive age, and often they are very scantily clad or their garments are quite transparent. Also, scent is very important. Scent underlines sexual matters in all civilizations, and the people here are being anointed with costly oils and perfumes, and they even have lumps of the precious scent placed on top of their heads to show us and to show the other ancient Egyptians how nice they all smelled.
Now it seemed that the lotus too, the most common image in the tombs, could also symbolize sex.
They wear lotus garlands around their necks. Some of them would have lotus flowers decorating their hair. They hold lotus flowers in their hands. The lotus flower is all over the place.
As a sexual symbol, the lotus could become the key to an extremely elaborate sexual code.
There are lots of plays of words from word to picture and picture to word. For instance, there's a very interesting play of word on the word to ejaculate, seti, and the word to pour. And incidentally, the word for scent is written with the very same three letters, S-T-I, seti. So all this underlines the sexuality of the scene.
For the dead, the lotus would stimulate rebirth, just as it would be a sexual stimulant for the living.
It's a very interesting discovery and does have significant ramifications in our understanding of why the ancient Egyptians used the lotus, the image of the lotus, so frequently. And it's interesting now to point to something and say this is obviously where it began. This is one of the means by which they made themselves happy.
Soaked in wine, the lotus would not provide an instant boost to the alcohol, but its long-term use would boost the sexual vigor and general health of those who consumed it.
I think we really have got to the key for the use of the blue lotus, and in my opinion, the blue lotus was not used as a source of narcotics. I think it was used for its beauty, for its perfume, and if it has the added advantage of giving you a feeling of well-being when you drink an infusion, an alcoholic infusion of this flower, well, that's everything that the pharaohs needed, really, isn't it?
And might the importance of the lotus have also derived from its properties as a panacea against disease? Was the truth that illness was in fact widespread in ancient Egypt? As the team continued their examination of Asru, might she provide some answers? A glimpse of the reality which lay behind the images of healthy young people in the tombs. Asru was now undergoing a full medical examination. It was part of the team's attempt to establish the truth about disease in ancient Egypt. The team had already discovered a new significance for the blue lotus, a plant which they had shown would boost both health and sexual vigor. Now they hoped to learn more about the general health of the people. Might the importance of the lotus in ancient Egypt be linked to the prevalence of disease? In the tombs, almost everyone is shown as young and healthy. Occasionally, musicians are